Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. And here with me today, I have a diamond in the rough for you guys to meet. His name is Brandon Johnson. He is a defensive lineman out of Missouri Western State. Nice to have you, sir.
Thanks for having me.
A guy who I feel pretty big talent at his position, offers a lot of flexibility and versatility at his position, and is a name that you need to meet. Brandon, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell us where you're from, and let's go ahead and get started.
All right, I'm Brandon Johnson, and I'm from Boonville, Missouri. Stayed home, and I'm defensive tackle at Missouri Western.
Gotcha. Let's kind of start at the beginning and let's work our way through. Let's start at the very, very beginning. Like, dude, how long have you been playing this game of football?
Oof. As long as I can remember, I started with flag football, and then I played that probably way too long. His mom wanted to hold me back, didn't want me to tackle, and but then I got big, and I just loved contact from the start. And then so I was born and raised in Texas, Fort Worth, Texas. Then we moved to Missouri, and that's kind of when I started playing tackle football. I started, I believe, in fourth grade in Boonville, and just kind of each level started increasing to everything. And then middle school came, still playing, and all the other sports trying to grab me too. And yeah, played all the sports: track, baseball, basketball, football. And in high school, I just kind of started narrowing it down just to strictly football. And then,
Gotcha.
yeah, then Missouri Western grabbed me up.
Cool. What I was able to bring up for you because I was trying to look back way back at your huddle film. Half your huddle film has you as a defensive end playing more or less like as a three tech, and the others have you as a tight end. And then Right now, gained a little bit since coming into Missouri Western. Brandon, what's your current height and weight these days, man?
Right now I'm listed at 6'4", and my current weight I weighed in yesterday like 306.
306.
And yeah, and then yeah, at high school I got all kinds of film. I got linebacker film, I got tight end film, fullback film. They just plugged me in anywhere they needed me.
No, I get you. I know sometimes that might actually play into your recruiting. I don't know exactly what maybe people were looking to do with you as you were coming out of high school, and maybe that confused a lot of recruiters. How was the recruiting process coming out of Boonville?
It was a small school, so I think I got under recruited, and then like last second is when all the bigger schools tried to come in, and I just felt loyalty towards Missouri Western, and that's where I stuck out. But yeah, it was because I started at linebacker, then moved to defensive end, and then I had all these coaches talking about defense tackle. Oh yeah, we're gonna put you at defense tackle. I was like, oh, I'm a defensive end. But then I was like, oh yeah, the ends in college is a little bit different. And then I kept eating and putting on more weight. And I think it did help. Like it helped me somewhat get like some skilled position work in and allowing me to apply that to my defense tackle position. It allows me to be not just a run stopper and filling up gaps. I can actually do stuff.
Again, as I was doing some of the research, like you had mentioned, you played a lot of other sports, basketball, track and field. And Again, as you were growing into your position, quite literally, you eventually got yourself to a point where you're a pretty good sized defensive lineman. Bro, walk us through this thing, man. Because I mean, how does a guy gain like 50 pounds over the course of like 6 years? So I mean, I know it doesn't happen overnight, but I mean, walk me through that process, man. Is it like a whole bunch of protein shakes, or how does it work?
Oh man, it is
I'm
a
not
lot
saying
of
I want to gain 50, but some people might.
yeah. Every time you're going home, take advantage of home cooked meals for sure. My mom always kept me fed, always good cooking. But yeah, it really was a lot of protein shakes, and Missouri Western's always had really good like nutrition plans and stuff, making sure you're on top of your calorie intake. They don't slack off on that stuff because we got like breakfast checks. for like incoming newcomers and freshmen, and you you don't want to miss those.
Well, I mean,
But
it's
yeah,
one thing early
just
on that they try and help you, I guess, understand what at least the school wants you to do, when it comes to, you and your overall development. And it all depends on where you are, how they see you. Like, do they want you to gain weight? Do they want you to maintain, of course? And then obviously they saw you as a guy who can grow into your position. So,
yeah.
um, let's talk about Missouri Western, man. You've been there for a minute. So, I mean, you've been to nearly every classroom possible, of course.
Yeah.
But go ahead and tell me about that school, man. Tell me what makes it so special for you, and maybe for some people who aren't as familiar with it, tell them about the school.
And it's a great place. It's a little bit smaller school, but you still kind of get that like college atmosphere. And the people are all for athletics, man. Like the community, the just normal professors, like ones that you would never, they don't even understand football, but they know you're a football player and they're like, oh yeah, we like you. And it's just that's like athletics is a big part of Missouri Western. And that's what I think what makes it great. And just the people there. It's not just every professor is going to know you, especially in athletics. They're really going to know you, and that's kind of what drawn me into it. And the facilities are top notch. The new locker room, then the indoor and all that. It's Division 1, but at the D2 level.
I hear you. And what have you been doing as a student, man? I mean, I'm assuming you've already graduated with at least one degree. So go ahead and tell us about what you've been doing there academically.
So I got my undergrad in wildlife biology, and now I'm currently finishing up my master's in business and administration, and I'll have that in December. And yeah, it's really just trying to find classes so I can still play football.
No, I get you. I'm sitting here thinking about wildlife biology and like again, hypothetically, let's just say football didn't exist. What would you see yourself doing? Like if not like now, maybe like 10, 15 years down the road, man. Wildlife biologies. I'm thinking like, are you want to be a ranger or something? Like what
So,
are you trying to do?
so that's what a lot of people think when they hear that is a ranger, but I want to be a fisheries biologist. I'm a nature head, and regardless, I'm always out there messing with bugs or whatever it is. But I love my fish, and so what a fishery biologist is, they go and basically just take surveys on public fisheries. That way, they can take data back to the lab and figure out like what regulations we need to have for each season and everything, similar to what a ranger does, but specific on fish.
No, I get you. Definitely something interesting, but let's get to the meat of what we're here to talk about, and that is you as an NF as you as a football player, a guy who is trying to maybe perhaps get into the NFL someday. So you as a prospect. So let's talk about your role there on the defensive line for Missouri Western. Talk about that whole defense and how you fit in.
So, as you can tell, we're odd front, and I'm in the middle. I got to clog up gaps, so that's my main objective. But that's the one thing like our D-line coach kind of harps. He doesn't want us just to be there just to plug a hole. Like he wants us to actually, we're shedding all blocks, we're twisting, we're doing everything we can to actually get back there in the backfield, not just let all the linebackers make all the plays. But and as they kind of see my big frame and everything. Oh, he can't pass rush, but they're not slowly. They kind of seen it last year with the new coach staff when they came in that I'm more than just a run stopper. They leave me out there on third down because they know they trust me to actually get after the quarterback, and that's something that I've definitely got better at as I've grown up a little bit. I've always had that ability to just stop the run, but then the pass rush, it kind of, there's a learning curve to it, which I'm definitely on it.
No, I get you. Uh, Brandon, I'll be real with you. I mean, I try and go and look up your stats, and nothing there is really too gaudy. It's not like you're doing a whole lot, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're not getting after it on every play. Oftentimes in those scenarios, You're just playing your role to allow someone else to make the play. So talk about the others around you on that defense.
So we got, for as far as the D line goes, we're stacked. Like even our threes can ball, and then that's I mean because we're all that COVID and everything kind of pushed everybody back. But I got Garrett Watson at the end, and then Grant Finley at the tackle, and they're really our speed guys, and we all play together very very well. Like there's a lot of communication that's happening, and then our coach kind of get on us. They want a lot of verbal communication, but we kind of just look at each other. We just know what we're all thinking and everything, and we kind of just play for each other. There's times that they hold up a tackle for me, and then I get to make the play. And there's times where I'm holding up guards or centers, just grabbing their eyes and make sure they can make the play.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
mean,
just
it's part of the game. I mean,
yeah.
you're not always the guy making the play, but there are 11 guys out there. So I mean, you just got to go out there and do your 111. So I was looking at that and I'm like, there's got to be more to it than that. So um, cool. So this journey of yours, man, you've been at it for a while. Um, Tell me about maybe who have been the most influential people for you in your journey, like maybe some football people and maybe some personal people like in your family.
As far as football goes, we had a guy he just graduated, CJ Ravenel. He's on the practice squad for the Ravens now, and that's who I played with since 2021 all the way up until last year. And so we were like that was my dog. We were always together, and he was a year older, so he knew a little bit more than me. And so he would just teach me these small technique things that would help me bring my game up to the next level. And even now, I'm still talking to him. We play the game together, and he's always just like, he watches my film just about as much as I do. And he's just like, you just need to hit this technique, and then you'll be able to make more plays and stuff like that. So he's definitely been a big help. And then, so my parents, they don't know a whole lot about football, but they're just supporting me no matter what. Like you're gonna see, where my family's at when it comes to game days. They're all in the 94 jerseys, screaming. They like to sit right behind the bench and make sure that I hear them. And they're just supporting me in whatever I do, whether it's football or not.
Brandon, I'm going to throw you a question, and it might hit hard, but I feel like you're going to be able to answer this effectively, and that is that uh, you're at a small school, and sometimes when people, whether it be fans or scouts, the one label that they put on this guy is maybe perhaps he's just a small school player. Um, what, how do you feel about that label? How do you feel? Like, does that like sting or how does it motivate you?
Like I take it in, but I don't take it. I don't take it personal at all because at the end of the day, it's all football. No matter who you're lining against, you're still gonna have a technique you have to play, and you got a job to get done. I mean, and especially in the MIAA, there's some big O linemen, and then I think the real like kind of separation between what I'm playing at now and the next level is your skill guys. Now, I feel like they're a lot better at the next level. But as far as O-line, we got some really, really big O-linemen in our league, and I feel like I'm always matching up against them. They're always having to do something to try to stop me from playing my game. And so I don't really take that. I don't take it to heart at all, just because I know I can ball. I know I can play, and then someone gives me an opportunity, I'm definitely going to run with it.
Yeah, and I mean, as you had mentioned earlier, a guy who is currently on the practice squad in Ravenel, and a couple of years ago we had Sam Webb come out of there and doing some great things in the league. And buddy, it's not like you're like you said. I mean, you're not in a pushover conference. I mean, you're probably in one of the toughest conferences, at your level of play. Um, it seems like almost every year, whoever wins that conference is up for a potential title. It's a brutal conference, and even this year, man, like you guys are in every game. And it's very tough. It's very tough to get the W at the end of the day. So, walk me through some of these moments, man. Some of these very close games, and maybe even your own personal favorite memory.
Oof. Uh, so you look at a record and you would think we're a bad team, which is the complete opposite. Uh, each week there's always some upset happening throughout the league, and then our games, it's just like it's down. It's going to be like one or two series that's going to determine who's going to win that game. It's always going to be in the fourth quarter because we're in every single game that we play in. And I think my favorite memory would have to be I have to look at last year, and it would have to be probably our when we beat Pitt State last year in our last few seconds on our senior day to send our seniors out right. And then it was me, Dakari Streeter, who was a great defensive lineman last year, and then CJ was on the tackle position. And then just being able to attack that quarterback at the end of the game like we were, it was just like the D-line decided that game at the very end. And that's definitely my favorite memory.
Oh, and I mean, let's just face it, man. I mean, we still got one more, season left to play. I mean, we're only a few games left in the year, and season's not over. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. I mean, you guys could run this table. I mean, we'll find out what happens, but yeah, it's going to be a brutal matchup. Any other games you're looking forward to this year, man?
You always gotta look forward to the next one up. But I do got my eyes on one, and it's definitely the Carney game that's coming up. It's our homecoming. And our quarterback actually transferred out of Missouri Western and went over there to Kearney, and he's starting over there. So I can't wait. It's gonna be
So now you
it's
get a
gonna
chance to
be
hit
fun.
him.
Oh yeah. All these practices we get to just walk right past them after we beat the lineman and then can't even touch them. It's all right. It's gonna be different this time.
Yeah, no strings attached, no red jersey.
No.
You're fair game now, man. So watch out.
Yeah. And he's definitely a talker, and I love that about him. It's going to be a good one, though.
Cool. Well, definitely something to look forward to. Again, as you look at yourself as a prospect, what do you think separates you from people? I mean, we've already talked about this a little bit. I mean, I look at you as a guy who could play multiple spots on that front. But is there anything more that you want to add to that?
I say the way I pick up different technique, I've had so many different position coaches that come in and they teach their technique, and I pick it up so quick. And then just my knowledge of the game, I got the size, I know that. And I mean, at that level, everybody has size. So that's not something you want to really look at. You want to look at the knowledge of the game. And that's where I'm definitely a student of the game and just I take in the information and I'm able to process it pretty fast and even explain that to some of the younger guys. And I think that's what separates me because I can pick up a defense very, very quickly.
Cool. Well, Brandon, appreciate you talking to me about those things. And now I just kind of want to take some time to meet the guy under the helmet. You had talked to me a little bit about your major, what you're doing there at Missouri Western, and anything else that maybe you want to share about yourself, other hobbies, interests, special talents, anything that you have to share about yourself.
Uh, I'm like I said, I'm a nature head and I love to fish. I love to hunt. If you can hunt it, I'm definitely tried it at least once. Uh, and I love my family. I love being around my family. That's really just who I am. I'm either fishing, hunting, or around them.
All right. So, of what you hunt or fish, are you the type of guy to be the one to cook it? I mean, you fancy yourself somewhat of a chef or what?
Oh yeah, I definitely do. It's something my dad taught me young. He's like, if you're gonna kill it, you're gonna be the one to clean it and do all that. And so he taught me all the strings for that. So I'm pretty experienced in that department. But then I also worked for a bar as a cook. And so I kind of picked up on a bunch of different stuff when it comes to cooking. I love to cook.
Cool. Well, I mean, you're 306 pounds. You, you best, I mean, it makes sense if you did. So,
Yeah.
um, favorite home cooked meal. I want to go through a couple of favorite questions
Ooh.
here real quick. So, favorite home cooked meal.
Favorite home cooked meal. That's a tough one. There's a lot out there, but I'd probably have to say some good like uh catfish or crappie, deep fried fish in general. And then
All
like some
right.
cornbread and you got some beans. That's definitely up there for me.
Okay. Do you happen to have a favorite movie or TV show?
Ooh. Favorite movie would have to be Fast and Furious 5, but really just that whole series is really that's if I had to pick one, any of those movies would be my favorite.
All right. So, are you a a bit of a car guy then? Like, do you have a favorite car that you wish you owned?
Probably be a Hellcat, but the wide body Charger. That would be my like dream car.
Okay. I'm not much of a car guy, but I mean, it gives you a chance to share. So,
Yeah.
um, is there perhaps a talent that you wish you had that you didn't have? Again, I'm not talking football or anything, just in general.
So I play a lot of card games with my family, and I cannot shuffle to save my life. I don't know what it is.
It's big
That talent
fingers.
is not there.
Let's call it that.
So I
Uh,
definitely wish I could shuffle cards better because I can't. I don't know what where that just didn't take place. Just doesn't stick.
that's funny. Maybe if you were here, I could teach you. I don't know. I don't know how that goes. Um, a song maybe perhaps you might be ashamed that you're a fan of.
Ooh, that's tough one too. I feel like I gotta go with like the one everybody goes with. It's the Miley Cyrus song. Can't even think of the name of it. Party in the USA. That's a great one.
Okay, hey, that's not so bad. I mean, just admitting that you're singing that in the shower, getting ready for, a day. So something for something fun. So, all right. Well, I think I'm kind of out of like weird questions right now. Anything else that you want to add before we wrap things up?
Uh, that's pretty much it. Just hopefully this helps me get my name out there and someone takes the opportunity on me because I'm gonna run with it
Yeah,
for sure.
so dude, as we kind of close up shop, just kind of want you to give your one final pitch to, maybe perhaps any scout that might be watching you this year, people that come to practice, and what you'd be giving them if they took a chance on this D2 guy out of Missouri Western State. So go ahead and finish us up.
I guarantee you, I would be one of the hardest working guys out there. And I mean, a teammates can vouch for me, like my position coach and my head coach can vouch for me. I don't play when I get on the field. It's all business, and that's the way I take it. That's where I attack the football in general.
Well, hey, buddy, best of luck with these next few games. I mean, obviously, want to wish you the best as you try and finish this season strong. So, and everything else you got going on, Brandon. Uh, take care of yourself and just want to wish you all the best. Okay.
All right, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Sure. Once again, I got Brandon Johnson, defensive lineman, Missouri Western State. Check out some of his film.
Thank you.